The number of live cash game players that are so totally focused on big hands and big hands only is staggering. They're focused on trying to flop big hands, trying to get big hands paid off, and while that's all well and good, there's a lot of profit to be made while waiting around for big hands to develop. And today I want to go through a spot with you and talk about a very, very easy bluff and one you should be looking to make a lot in your game. Let's get into it. Good morning, how we doing today? My name is James Sweeney, aka Split Suit, and today I want to review a poker hand with you. So this is from a vlog episode that never ended up seeing the light of day. What had happened was when I was back in Florida, I've recorded the entire 1-2 vlog. I'll leave a link in the description box if you want to watch that entire thing. And I had also recorded a bunch of 2-5 sessions before I left, but then I left, went to North Carolina, then moved again a little after that, had children, and lots of things came up. So unfortunately, the 2-5 vlog never ended up coming to fruition. But I was reviewing some stuff, found this in my old notes, and figured, you know what, let's go through this spot together, because I think it's a really interesting one, and a spot that a lot of live players completely miss. Alright, so this hand was played at the Orange City Poker Room down in Florida, playing 2-5 with an 800 max buy. We are on the button, playing 7-handed, couple of folds, raised to 20, which was table standard, look down at Jack-8 of spades, decide to make the call on the button, and my notes, mind you, I haven't played this hand in years, my notes say that the person who opened is a crypto guy, whatever that might mean to you, and that one of the players in the blinds I have written as Alabama, meaning that I thought, hey, if Alabama the state were a person, what would they look like, who would they be? That's the guy, right there. Now I don't want to completely gloss over preflop because calling with Jack-8 suited here is a little bit looser than I would normally suggest, but even if we fire up the GTO ranges app from Red Chip Poker and look at the live RGTO ranges and say the hijack open raises, what does the app say we should be calling with on the button? Notice of course Jack-8 suited is not involved here in the slightest, only 6% of hands are being called in this situation according to the solver, but of course this is assuming a perfectly solved hijack opponent. Everyone's going to play perfectly from here on forward, the players behind are going to call in 3-bet perfectly as well, and I definitely do not think that's going to be the case in the slightest, especially from the person that I denoted as Alabama. So I think this is one where I can call, and if both the blinds fold, fine. If I end up going in a three-way situation, me, Bama, and Crypto, I'm totally fine with that as well, have position, and I think Crypto is going to play pretty darn straightforward and face up, and of course there's lots of implied odds that could come from Bama as well. So overall, I'm okay with the call. Though to be fair, this is the kind of call that I'm much more likely to make in position as opposed to out of position, so keep that in mind. So anyway, we end up making the call. Bama calls a little bit after that. End up going three-way to the flop. Flop is a very interesting monotone 8-7-5, all hearts. Bama checks. Crypto fires for 15, and I decide to call. So let's talk about this one real quick. So to be very clear here, I'm not calling just because I have top pair. I think some players will try to simplify this call down simply to that, and that's just simply not the case. I am calling for optionality. I'm calling because I have position. I think both players are going to play this spot very, very face up for the rest of the way through. And when this person bets 15 and a roughly 60 and change on the flop, what is that likely saying? Are they likely very, very happy with their hand, or maybe not so much? Especially because I know they're paying attention. They see Bama's in the hand. If they had a big hand, wouldn't they start trying to build the pot very, very quickly against them? And I'm inclined to say probably, at least a decent chunk of the time. I don't think they're as focused on balanced play against me as they are against maximizing against Bama. So because of that, 15 here, getting 5-1, I just don't see how I'm not winning often enough on future streets to justify folding here. Yes, it's a monotone board, not the greatest flop texture in the entire world, but still one where I think I'm going to win this pot plenty enough of the time. And this is really the power of being in position, especially on these kind of not so favorable textures, at least not super favorable for other people. Alright, so with all that said, again, end up making that call. Bama calls not too long after that. Turn is the 9 of hearts. Bama checks, Crypto checks, and this is the easiest bluff in the entire world for $55. So why is this the easiest bluff in the entire world? Obviously this is much more of a bluff. I'm not betting my top pair here for value, not on such a board texture. This is definitely one where I'm just turning my hand into a bluff and trying to pick the pot up uncontested and really trying to take a nice auto-profitable opportunity. Now if we look at the break-even percentage of the bet, right, we're betting roughly half pot, so it's a 33% break-even, which means that if both players are folding more often than 33% collectively, meaning both of them are again relinquishing the pot more than 33%, then this is just a snap profitable play. Again, whether I'm betting here with top pair or just any other sort of bluff combination, all is well and good as long as that's the case. And the biggest thing that I can leave you with, it's extremely useful, whether it's a heads up pot or even multi-way pots, is when the board kind of 4 straights or 4 flushes, those are usually prime opportunities to take advantage when your opponents seem fairly disinterested, especially when there were weak bets leading up to it. These are usually very easy spots that you can take advantage of as long as your image is not kind of like a complete maniac. And while you might look at this spot and say, well, hold on, isn't Bama fishy? And don't we really not fire bluffs into fish? And that's totally fair. But this is the kind of situation where there are lots of kind of weak hands that Bama could have called with on the flop, especially closing action. So a lot of those just simply are not going to have a heart or are not going to be that interested in continuing. Heck, he might even fold a straight just given the fact that there are 4 hearts on the board. It's extremely obvious when the board is monotone like that. So again, I think there's a decent chunk of folds that will be coming from them. I think that if Crypto had a big hand, he's more likely to bet the turn or bet the flop bigger or a combination of both of those things. So again, he doesn't seem particularly interested in this pot, and as such, I'm just going to fight for it. I think this is much better than just checking here and hoping to fire a river bluff or hoping to hero call something, hoping to win a check down showdown. Like, I don't see that happening enough of the time versus just fight here. It looks realistic. It looks like you're betting a real hand. I mean, this isn't like a line that would only be taken with complete air. So because of that, again, I think fire it. You don't have to fire it too large. This does not need to be 75 most of the time. If they call 55, might be going for that barrel on the river as well. We're kind of feel that out. But I think overall, this is an extremely easy slam dunk bluff and one that a lot of players just simply miss. And just for the record, all the math and the technical stuff we're talking about right here is all stuff you can practice between sessions, so that way in real time you're able to recall it and use it more easily. One of the best ways to do this is using my live cash game poker workbook. It runs through lots of different mathematical spots, pre-flop, post-flop, everywhere in between, uses things like GTO ranges, and also lots of different mathematical stuff so you can practice things like pot odds and auto profit and pot geometry and all these other things that come up a tremendous amount of the time. Again, if you can train your brain between sessions in real time, it's much easier to use it. If that sounds up your alley, just visit splitsuit.com/live or look for the live cash game poker workbook on Amazon if you prefer paperbacks. And all versions come with a complete answer key along with a complete course showing you how to do every single section within the workbook. Again, that's splitsuit.com/live, L-I-V-E, to pick up your copy and learn more today. And with that said, let's finish out the rest of this hand and see what happens. So hitting play, very quick folds from both players. Get asked if I have the 6 of hearts because there's some sort of high hand promo going. I do not. And we end up shipping a nice little medium to size pot. I'm not complaining at all about picking up a little $100 pot for just a little $55 bluff. Again, this is a very easy bet to make and one you should be looking for a tremendous amount in your game. Heads up, multi-way, doesn't matter. Look for spots where the board gets completely locked up and people are going to get really tight on their continuance. Take advantage of it, understand those break-even percentages, and just pull those triggers. So that's going to wrap it for this one. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want to see more vlog hands just like this one. Not sure I can commit to full vlog episodes. Those do take a tremendous amount of time to put together, but little hands like this here and there I'd be happy to start throwing in if that's the kind of thing you guys want to see more of. Just let me know down in the comments, and again, a like on the video would be massively appreciated. Let me know, hey, this is the stuff that you like. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out today. I'll see you back shortly with a brand new video. In the meantime, good luck out there and happy grinding.